for it later
Easily,
on.
yeah, easily. Like I was totally unstable.
Yeah.
Like he was just like.
So basically, you start in palm up, rotating. Some people will do it like this. I find it works a bit better for me like this. And then I rotate back down.
So your energy is more up and down, not.
No, it's forward.
It is forward?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, so just to feel it, right? Yeah. And then don't watch me, watch what happens to him, right? Let's see, he's up on the heels.
Yeah.
So there's the forward pressure. Now it's kind of up to the pair, how much pressure you want to add. You can add a lot of pressure, or you can add a little bit of pressure, or almost no pressure, but that forward intention is still there. Right. So later on, when you actually do the sticking, you're still working coordination with the person.
Okay.
If you hinge too far, you're going to lose strength. If you don't hinge enough, then there's no deflection. So you have to find that point. And then once you're there, you're getting matching pressure. So you're both giving each other pressure and matching pressure. And on your side, you want this just a little bit. It's a bit tricky at first to think that's both behind and so relaxed.
Is that you?
But especially when somebody is stronger than you, this will actually help a lot, right? Because then you're grounded from here all the way down to your feet. So adjustments when you rotate the pelvic structure will sink. See that when you start touching hands, you should feel the pressure of the contact point is here, but that pressure will go through you all the way to the ground. Right? And that way, if somebody's a lot bigger than you, you're not just using these tiny muscle groups to try to solve it. And then, so when I do the forward pressure, I actually lean into the person a little bit, just doing reach. I don't use so much reach with my hands. We'll get there. It's a good starting point. So if I were going to do it to you, I would be concentrating on probably going through the shoulders into the spine.
Let's see that for a second. Relative.
Meaning relative size too.
Yeah, right? Then I change every time I change. If I'm doing someone shorter, then I have to do it to them. Right? If I'm doing someone way taller than me, right? Now I'll do it like this, right? It's the same thing. So that's really important. That's a little bit down the road, right? Same with how you stand. Which is you would say like, because you see people doing this, a really deep stance. The problem is that it draws this hip back, and your elbows mirror your hips, right? So now look at now, I'm not symmetrical anymore. But if I sound like this, which is more like folk would do, right? More classical. But now I'm not really strong this way. But if I take a natural step, sink, now I can. Now I'm totally aligned from yeah, it's just a natural step, right? So I have a bit of a lead. So I have some lateral strength, some inner strength. Mainly you're using your structures to actually prevent the person from hitting you, and then you're using pressure to sense holes in their part. And then later you have feeling, so now you don't have to have as much pressure. Use the force, yeah. Then it becomes an exercise in the Jedi.
Yeah.
Kind of hinge up, hinge down, hinge up, hinge down, hinge down. But even when I'm here, I'm still thinking forward pressure. In fact, actually, this should be forward pressure at any point in this rotation. Right? So here. If I can just try for a second. So if he pushes toward me, if that arm's out of the way, then this will come in, right? If he rotates down, so if you've got the right forward pressure, you don't really have to even think about it. Naturally find it. It's like this, if you hold this hand and you remove it, that flies. So it's kind of the base. Just do it like so.
Yeah.
This can be really killer on the shoulder.
It's, yeah, I'm definitely getting
You start adding an inner through, But if this rotates down,
And then see right there if you're.
that should still come.
I'm going for this.
I'm trying. Oh, sorry. No,
You're almost making it with the elbow.
I'm not lifting the elbow. I'm trying to keep all these angles in place so that I have as much structure and angulation working for me as possible. Even the way my bones relate to his bones, you can aim and you can subtly adjust, right? Again, it's very simple externally. It's very complex internally. Yeah. Can you feel him through the shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good starting point. So we've done that. We're kind of giving our brains a break, and then you do single hand. Single hand. So you can polish it a little bit, right? Get used to the feeling of it. So now what we'll do is we'll add one more element to it. So now I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. So that was a rotational element. So both hands have to be active. So when I'm doing this one can't suffer. When I'm doing this one can't suffer. So you'll see kind of a pulse of pressure right now. That will disappear like once, and then I'll go that way. So you try to catch all these little flaws in your own posture.
Yeah.
Okay, now you go inside.
Right, so we've got both sides. We've done one hand each side. Now we're doing rotating, rotating, rotating. So now we kind of have both sides at a very basic level, right? So now what we're going to do, so I'm going to do this, this. So now we're each doing half of the exercise. Well, my right hand does his right hand. Now we're in sticking. So it's still a bit of a pulse of pressure, which we'll get away from slowly, but for now keep it, because we've added a lot already. So then we start adding all these. The two most important tend to be these ones, and they're the most boring. This one, and that one. The reason being is they most accurately represent this idea of forward pressure. So if there's nothing in the way, we'll kind of do that too, but for now we'll just, so here, hit, try that, rotate, 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 hit. So, the shape of the arm is relevant here too, because this is a natural wedge. So if I push too far in, now I'm going to get nailed here, right? But if I can adjust my structure and at the same time give him forward pressure, he's going to have a hard time hitting it. So if I'm sticking massive here and he's coming in like that. This is a glancing blow. That's straight on, right? So it goes really fast.
It's still,
That's coming in.
we've got to get the forward momentum, not just the blocking.
See, that's already coming. Because if that comes down, so what it actually looks like is this, right? And you just glance, right? So we're just rotating this. So if that's low like that, this one should just go out. And on this side, you can kind of, later you can create a shortcut, like what we're doing kind of now is this later on. You can just
I
bring
mean,
it up.
alternatively, here's
So when you see it, like,
Those hands off.
that's why I think So you leave the person off. Sorry about that. Is it okay? There's two actually. One thing is, I think why you're in the caption is feel the difference, right? Yeah, see you tensed up because I'm telling you. So now I feel this. I didn't give him a lot of message here.
Right. You basically choke the signal, right?
Yeah. I'm using my body instead of this. If I try to do this, see his muscles all tightened up, everything locked in.
You just sort of almost make it a continuation of the same.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. So if that happens.
something, like want to do a move and have that in your head and be like, okay, I'm going here next, versus feeling him and watching for his little openings and then taking advantage of that on the spot.
So eventually what happens is those calibrate. What you want to do or what you think you're doing, what you're actually doing become the same thing. That's always the challenge in martial arts, right? What you think you're doing versus what you're actually doing. So yeah, like we're sticking, and I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to use my like best back fist. It doesn't work like that. You know, I'm here like I'm trying to sneak it in, I'm getting punched in the face, and so that's why again you learn to sort of let go. It's like I go, you know, I don't know you, thanks for sticking with me, cool, right? You seem like a nice guy, but the second you feel something, that's here. So until he blocks that, I'll keep hitting. You know, I'll go back to that side, then I'll go to that side. There. Same posture but rotating. Okay. This is in this type of sticking, it's pressure sticking. This is kind of the core of it. So if I go here, we hold it for a second, I let go. You see where his pressure went off this way, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test at all four corners to start with. So when I come here, for instance, I'm going to let go. And if he goes there, then I know where exactly where his pressure is. What you want to have happen is this should hit my shoulder.
Perhaps. Oh, my feet are different.
You will definitely want to play with that. Yeah. So there you go. That's better. It's a lot better. Okay. Now, if I do it, so now one straight down. Right? So what you're doing is you're testing each other in terms of where your actual pressure is going. Again, what you think you're doing versus what you're actually doing. The goal is to be able to maintain forward pressure in the person so that if you remove your arm, this always goes straight in, right? So again, you're trying to bypass the whole thought process involved. So the second I touch you, if there's nothing there, your body is finding those holes automatically and just rolling through. Right? That's the goal. So a lot of times you spend on drills that use this, right? So pressure, I let go, see where it goes. Pressure, I let go, I see where it goes. And then I'll do it on the downside too. See if it went inside. It should come this way. And you can test each other in that way over and over. One thing you can do solo, I don't think I brought my inner tubes. I don't think, you probably have resistant bands here though. Yeah, we can, at the end I can show you how to practice that sense of forward pressure by yourself. We actually wrap an inner tube or resistance band around your waist. Yeah. So like so. Okay. Same thing. To do the other side of it. Let's see, I need an anchor point. And you can adjust. If I step out further, there's already a stronger preload.